global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello fam, welcome back to our channel. Many thanks for subscribing, for commenting, for sharing our videos. And if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button below. Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Hours ago, the First Lady of Nigeria, talking about Aisha Buhari, was on her social media handle complaining and lamenting that they should release her orderlies and her ADCs was getting out of hand. She was practically complaining over everything, how some people are above the law. You probably may be wondering, what did her orderlies do to warrant her orderlies being detained? You will find out in this news. And why is she also screaming and shouting that some people seem to believe they are above the law, and NDC, they should obey the protocols of NCDC over the issue of coronavirus. You will also find out why all this is happening, because as we speak, the AsoRock villa is on fire. Power tussle, heavy one, is ongoing as the power tussle in the presidential villa between the First Lady Aisha Buhari and Sabiu Tunde Yusuf, the president's influential personal assistant and favorite nephew, has taken a dangerous turn that could undermine security at the presidential villa, with the president's top security aides' loyalty split between the opposing camps. The villa was thrown into confusion as a Thursday night when the First Lady, accompanied by her children Zara, Helima, and Yusuf, took a team of policemen led by her aide-de-camp to forcefully confront Tunde following an earlier heated disagreement over his refusal to self-isolate after his trip to Lagos to see his wife, who had just given birth to a baby boy. Sources familiar with the event said on reaching the house 8 guest chalets of the president, where Tunde resides with his family, there was an altercation between him and Mrs. Buhari, her children, and her security aides that eventually snowballed into a near-fatal brawl. Real fight. Our sources said Tunde, who appeared helpless and clearly outnumbered, had to run for his dear life on foot. This was when Mrs. Buhari's ADC and 4 members of her police escort fired some shot into the air as they pursued him. He had been seriously wounded as at that time, but successfully made it to the entrance and residence of Momandwara, where he would shelter for the night, the source also in Presidential Villa revealed. The source said the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mohammed Adamu, following a briefing on the horrific incident, arrived at the Presidential Villa Friday morning and ordered Mrs. Buhari's ADC and all the police personnel attached to her, who also took part in all this altercation and shooting, arrested and detained. That was why they actually detained her ADC. All those are shouting on social media, this is the reason why. Let's continue to find out more. Narrating the ugly incident, the source at the villa, who asked to remain anonymous, said, "Let me explain what really went on so that your journal and your readers can truly understand what is happening in the villa now and the dynamics of the 2023 presidential politics. Futuristics of that, the future politics of Nigeria is playing out already." It says, since Malam Abba Kyari died, the First Lady has been trying to kick the president's personal assistant, who is also his nephew, that's Tunde. And the president named him Tunde in honor of the late Tunde Idiagbon, his former deputy when he was the military head of state. Out of the villa, so he said he was trying to chase the nephew, that's the First Lady is trying to chase the president's nephew out of the villa so that she can effectively, have full influence over the president. That's the whole essence, that she wanted to chase the nephew out so that she can have full influence. and power, of course. She believed Tunde and the president's other relatives are blocking her from having full control of her husband and power in the villa. But it is obvious that the president does not want this because he has encouraged Tunde to continue with his job. Tunde's wife just delivered a boy in Lagos, so he got the president's approval to fly to Lagos to see her with his two sisters last weekend. He returned to Abuja last Sunday and returned to work on Monday. He was, however, asked to self-isolate for 14 days because of the coronavirus pandemic by the chief personal security officer to the president, Abdulkarim Dauda, and the president aide-de-camp, Mohammed Abubakar, but he told them that the president said he shouldn't. On Thursday, when the First Lady heard that he was still coming to work, she asked him to self-isolate, but he told her that the president said he didn't have to. She insisted, and her insistence led to a heated verbal exchange between them and the president. And the president was later informed about this. And the president, however, took sides with Tunde and didn't see any reason why he should self-isolate at all. He said Zara and Helima, that's Buhari's daughters, left the villa to visit their in-laws when Halima's husband's uncle died recently, and they didn't self-isolate on their return. He also pointed to the fact that when his new chief of staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, went to Lagos too, he didn't self-isolate on his return as well. So he didn't see any reason why Tunde should, so he overruled her. What happened on Thursday night is a big embarrassment. The First Lady and 3 of her children, Zara, Helima, and Yusuf, took some policemen attached to her, including her ADC, to Tunde's house. They didn't like the way Tunde spoke to their mother, so they actually went there to fight him. During their confrontation with him, he was overpowered and clearly could not withstand their number, so he ran for his dear life. It was as he was running and they were chasing him that they shot a few times into the air. They chased him to the house of his uncle, Mama Daura. Of course, Mama Daura, of course. They couldn't enter Mama Daura's residence to get Tunde, but they shouted and made a lot of threats before they eventually left. Do you know that Yusuf later went back to Tunde's house in the wee hours of the morning with a gas tank to burn it down? Thank God Tunde wasn't home when he got there. That was what saved his life. The DSS is responsible for the security at the villa. Gunshots were fired at the villa, and the DSS that is responsible for the security has not detained the shooters. No one has been questioned. This is even a dangerous precedent for visitors to the villa, including ministers and top government functionaries. This would send a wrong and scary signal. You can be shot at or brutally attacked in the presidential villa at the First Lady's orders if you do go against her. This is not how it should be. You see, Nessa El-Rufai and Lamido Sanusi are the ones using the First Lady to heat up things in the villa since Abba Kyari died because of their interest in the 2023 presidential election. This is what is escalating the whole new fight for full access to the president. She already has the chief of staff on her side, so she doesn't want Tunde giving the president contrary views and advice. She wants everyone against her out of the villa, but that is not going to happen. Well, you may be surprised. How did we get this information? Yes, we got it from The Will Nigeria. They have the exclusive interview, they have the exclusive information, and you'll probably be wondering, how do you have an inkling to this? Even Aisha Buhari herself has given numerous hints of what is going on her social media handle. You can always visit there and see for yourself, where Nigerians are asking her, Aisha, our First Lady, open your mouth, tell us exactly why they have detained your ADC. She couldn't talk. But let's feel the pulse of Nigeria. Let's just take one or two and we'll round it up then. Let's feel the pulse of Nigerians over this. A lot of them have been calling out Buhari. This one here is saying, so our president is a Dumbo, that anyone can just toss him around as they like. No wonder both Tunde and Aisha were fighting over who will have access to Buhari, because they know whoever have access to him have the remote control. Buhari is a disaster that no nation on earth should pray for his type as president. This one here is saying, what nonsense is this? What sort of damage control and lawlessness and rubbish is this? How can all this happen under Buhari's nose? No, there's no Buhari. I don't understand what is going on. So where is Tusibajo in all this? This one here is a trouble in paradise. This one here, chai. They're not even afraid of stray bullet that will hit PMB. Thank God though. That would have been a costly drama. A lot of comments, really. This one here is saying, lifeless administration. This one here is saying, if President Abba Kyari, he's not President Abba Kyari, if President Abba Kyari were to be alive, Buhari and his families would have been detained for their overzealousness against the non-elected president of Nigeria. This one here is saying, confusion in the enemy's camp. This one here is saying, do you know the meaning of, I don't know what that means. This one here is saying, so this is the propaganda Aisha and her crew in AsoRock want to use to cover the disqualification of Obaseki from APC primary and the useless recording speech they gave to us for June 12. But that's how much we can take. Nigerians are really seriously reacting over what is going on. What do you think? You have heard it all. If you go to social media handle of Aisha Buhari, you see it all, where she has been asking them to please release her ADC. That is what happened to her ADC, and that is the power tussle ongoing as we speak. And for proper verification, you can log on to the Real News, and you get the whole information as it is. Let's meet